Anthropic just released Claude Fable 5, and this is not just another slightly smarter chatbot update. This is the first Mythos-Class Claude model that ordinary users and developers can actually access, but with a safety governor attached. In this video, I will explain what Fable 5 is, what Mythos 5 is, what the safeguards mean, and the real use cases that matter. The important shift is this. We are moving from AI that answers questions to AI that can hold a project together for hours or days. Claude Fable 5 launched on June 9th, 2026, according to Anthropic's announcement. Anthropic describes it as a Mythos-Class model made safe for general use. And Anthropic says its capabilities exceed any model they have previously made generally available. That does not mean we blindly trust every claim. It means this is important enough to understand properly. The clean explanation is this. Fable 5 is the public version. Mythos 5 is the more restricted trusted access version. Anthropic says Mythos 5 uses the same underlying model as Fable 5, but with safeguards lifted in some areas for approved users. Mythos 5 is initially being deployed through Project Glasswing, focused on cyber defenders and infrastructure providers. Fable 5 is the one developers and organizations can actually use broadly through the Claude API and supported cloud platforms. The model ID is Claude Fable 5. That matters because this is not just a consumer product story. It is an API and agent platform story. Official docs list Fable 5 at 1 million tokens of context and 128,000 tokens of max output. That kind of context window changes the workflow. You can give the model a whole project pack instead of a tiny snippet. The pricing listed by Anthropic is $10 per million input tokens and $50 per million output tokens. So this is not the model you use for every tiny job. It is the model you bring in when the task is hard enough to justify the cost. The headline capability is long horizon work, planning across stages, using tools, checking its own work, and staying focused over very large context. Anthropic's own Fable page says it is built for ambitious long-running projects, especially agents, coding, enterprise workflows, and vision-heavy work. That is the lens for this video. Do not think of Fable 5 as a better autocomplete. Think of it as a more capable operator inside a harness. Use case 1, large code migrations. Give it a code-based map, constraints, tests, and a migration goal. The model should not just edit files. It should make a plan, stage the migration, run tests, inspect failures, and produce evidence. That is where Fable 5's long horizon strength matters. Large migrations are not one prompt. They are loops. Use case 2, agent skills and runbooks. Give a messy work log and ask it to turn success into a reusable skill. A strong agent skill needs triggers, workflow, pitfalls, verification, and output format. Fable 5 is positioned for that kind of structured synthesis. Use case 3, screenshot to app builds. Fable 5's vision capability is one of the big claims. The workflow is simple. Give it a screenshot, ask for a build, render the result, then use vision again to compare output against the target. Use case 4, document intelligence. Long reports, tables, PDFs, contracts, and spreadsheet exports become manageable when context and vision improve. The practical output is not a summary. It is a table, citations, risk ratings, assumptions, and the exact questions a human reviewer should check. Use case 5, enterprise workflow agents. Instead of supervising every tiny step, a team can hand off a defined project and review the completed deliverable. That sounds boring, but it is where value lives. Launches, audits, incident reports, compliance packs, migrations, and customer analysis. Now the safety part. This is the bit most people will either ignore or rage about, but it is central to the release. Anthropic says Fable 5 includes safeguards for areas like cybersecurity and biology. When those safeguards trigger, some queries can be routed to Claude Opus 4.8 instead of Fable 5. Anthropic says the safeguards are conservative and trigger on average in less than 5% of sessions. The good reason is obvious. The more capable the model gets, the more dangerous misuse can become. The frustrating part is also obvious: false positives. Some harmless or defensive work may get downgraded or blocked. So the honest message is not that safeguards are perfect. It is that this is the deployment trade-off Anthropic chose. For this channel, we keep the examples safe, defensive, high-level, and focused on useful operator workflows. We are not using Fable 5 to bypass restrictions. We are using it to build better software, better analysis, and better agents. Now let us talk about how you would actually prompt it. Step 1. Give it the goal. Not vague. Give the deliverable, audience, constraints, and definition of done. Step 2. Give context. Code files, docs, screenshots, logs, tickets, prior decisions, and anything it needs to avoid guessing. Step 3. Force a plan before action. Ask it to inspect, summarize assumptions, and propose stages before changing anything. Step 4. Give it verification. Tests, lint commands, screenshots, review checklist, acceptance criteria, or exact evidence required. Step 5. Make it report like an operator. What changed, what was verified, what failed, what risks remain, and what a human should review. This is the difference between using a frontier model as a toy and using it as part of an operating system. Here is a sample safe workflow. Take a legacy internal tool and ask Fable to propose a modernization plan. Then ask it to implement one slice, write tests, run the app, compare the UI against a screenshot, and hand you the evidence. Another workflow. Feed it a long research pack and ask for a briefing, not just a summary. The briefing should include claims, evidence, source links, uncertainty, contradictions, and recommended next steps. Another workflow. Convert a successful agent session into a skill. Ask it, extract the reusable method, remove temporary details, define when to use it, add pitfalls, add verification, and create a template. This is where long context matters. The model can read the whole messy process and still produce a clean operational artifact. What should you not use Fable 5 for? First, cheap routine tasks. If Haiku, Sonnet, or Opus can do it, use the cheaper tool. Second, do not use it as an unquestioned authority. More capable does not mean always correct. Third, do not expect unrestricted cyber or bio help from Fable. That is exactly where the safety fallback exists. Fourth, do not use it for regulated or high-risk decisions without human review. The big picture is this. Fable 5 is less about chat and more about delegation. The skill people need now is not just prompt engineering. It is workflow engineering. You need to know how to package context, define constraints, give tools, require verification, and review outputs. That is why this model matters for AI agents. Stronger long-horizon models make the harness more valuable, not less. A great model without tools is just a very smart voice in a box. A great model with tools, memory, skills, tests, and review becomes an operator. So the practical takeaway is simple. Use Fable 5 when the task is big, messy, long, visual, or high context. Use smaller models for routine work. Use Fable for the work where planning, persistence, and self-checking actually pay for themselves. And keep the human in the loop where it matters. Approvals, risk, judgment, and final publication. Claude Fable 5 is a signal of where AI is going. Not just better answers, but longer, deeper, more autonomous work. The winning teams will not be the ones who ask the cleverest one-off prompt. They will be the teams who build repeatable operating loops around these models. That means context packs, skill libraries, test harnesses, visual verification, and human review gates. Let me make this concrete with a prompt pattern you could use tomorrow. Role, context, task, constraints, verification, and handoff. Role, act as a senior engineer or analyst. Context, here are the files, docs, logs, and screenshots. Task, produce a working deliverable. Constraints, do not expose secrets, do not make unapproved production changes, stay inside this repo, and ask only if required information cannot be retrieved. Verification, run these tests, inspect this screenshot, compare against this checklist, and quote the actual result. Handoff, summarize what changed, what passed, what failed where the files are, and what decision the human needs to make. That prompt pattern matters more as models get stronger. The stronger the agent, the more important the operating boundary becomes. For the demo video, the safest high-value build is an agent workflow. Take a messy task transcript and turn it into a reusable skill. It shows Fable 5 strengths without touching restricted domains. long context, reasoning, structured output, self-review, and practical automation. A second strong demo is Screenshot to App. The model reads a visual target, builds a UI, then uses vision to judge whether it matched. A third demo is Deep Document Work. Give it dense source material, force citations, and make it produce a decision-ready brief. Those are the use cases where Fable 5 earns attention. Not party tricks, but work that normally breaks weaker agents. If you want a hands-on follow-up, I can build a full demo. Fable-style workflow for code migration, agent skill creation, or screenshot to app rebuilding. So how close does this put us to AGI? My honest rating, we are not there, but we are no longer nowhere near it. If AGI means a system that can reliably learn, plan, act, adapt, and transfer skills across most economically useful work, I would rate today around a 6 out of 10. That number is not a scientific measurement. It is an operator estimate based on capability, autonomy, reliability, tool use, memory, and real-world usefulness. Fable 5-style models push the autonomy and long-horizon dials forward. They can hold more context, use vision better, and stay with a messy project longer. But the missing pieces are still serious. Robust self-correction, stable memory, grounded world models, safe agency, low hallucination rates, and reliable operation under pressure. Current models can look brilliant in one task and strangely brittle in the next. That brittleness is one of the clear signs we are not at full AGI yet. Will we ever get there? I think yes, if we define AGI as broadly useful machine intelligence across many domains. But I do not think it arrives as one magic switch. It will arrive as systems. Models plus tools, memory, agents, verification, sandboxes, permissions, and human oversight. The more important question is not when a lab declares AGI. It is when these systems can do more real work than most people expect, safely and repeatedly. My practical forecast: narrow AGI-like work will keep arriving first. Coding, research, design, analysis, operations, and automation will feel increasingly agentic before everything feels general. So my rating after Fable 5 is this: 6 out of 10 for capability, 4 out of 10 for reliability, and maybe 3 out of 10 for safe, unsupervised autonomy. That is why the operator loop still matters. The winning setup is not leaving the model alone. It is giving it context, tools, tests, memory, and review. Fable 5 does not mean AGI is here. It means the path is getting clearer. Longer context, stronger agents, better verification, and more serious deployment choices. Subscribe for more practical AI agent builds. Real tools, real workflows, zero hype.